earlier in the week, Treyarch detailed a little bit of the information coming for next week's update 1.11 coming on Tuesday for Black Ops 4, in which we're gonna be getting a bunch of different things that are honestly, I think, rather cool across the modes that you may be playing within the game. While we won't be unfortunately getting things like the mastery camos in Zombies and Blackout as of Tuesday, those will be coming at a later point, which is actually detailed in this newer update they gave us as kind of a look ahead for the week coming up. Within a new Reddit post today, they detailed there's gonna be another update 1.12 coming later this month. That's gonna be where that is. So while we might not be getting that functionality like camos, we still have a couple of things that they detailed in greater depth than they had before. So today, we're gonna break down everything they talked about here and give you what to look out for in that update. So super excited to see what else this may hold, but for now, we still got a lot to talk about. Let's start out with the multiplayer portion again, because I'm pretty sure that's where a lot of you guys may fall in terms of interest here for this, though it might not be the main topic of discussion within this little mini update or things to look out for as detailed by Treyarch. There's a few things that we can give from the multiplayer perspective that does come next week with this update. So as for multiplayer, we'll firstly see the Black Ops Pass maps finally being in the rotation. For those of you guys that bought and downloaded the maps for the Black Ops Pass, you had Madagascar and Elevation as that first offering within Black Ops 4 for multiplayer. Of course, it came along also with Dead of the Night if you're a Zombies fan with there, but those maps were only available in the special playlist for those maps. So outside of it, you really couldn't do anything. You had to either play Elevation Madagascar and no other maps, or not play them at all. And that was something that after about the first week of that playlist being introduced and the maps being brand new in their own separate playlist, players were kind of like, well, can we now play everything all together? And while yes, it does introduce that inconvenience of if you're in a party and somebody doesn't have those maps and it comes up in the rotation, it'll then kick the player if that map is chosen, or at least it has in the past. But ultimately, when you come down to it, for those that did purchase it, it does get quite dull playing the same two maps over and over again. So to be able to introduce those into the same rotation as every other map is certainly something players have wanted. And this also then accounts for hardcore as well. So for those guys in the hardcore playlist that love TDM, domination, free-for-all, all that good stuff in the hardcore playlist, you'll have access to these as well. You're not getting neglected here like this. We've seen sometimes hardcore not get the playlist updates as per one-to-one with core players, but that's gonna be happening with these new map updates as well. And talking about slight little updates for this kind of stuff in the playlist, we're actually gonna be seeing a few, as they call it, a fresh batch of rotating featured playlists coming into multiplayer with 1.11, along with other additional stability fixes and quality of life improvements. Now, when they say fresh batches of featured playlists, I'm not really thinking about things that we've already seen. This past week's was the Endurance Chaos Mosh Pit. That was something that we saw beforehand, so kind of that repeat or refresher, I guess, of a game mode we already saw. So when they talk about fresh batches of content, maybe that deals with brand new game modes. Like what we said in a couple of videos in the past couple of weeks, things like maybe Prop Hunt. Maybe we end up seeing things like Sticks and Stones or some other cool mode that was introduced as a party mode in the previous titles and has been seen very limitedly in recent years. This update will also set the stage for League play coming very shortly as well, so that'll be something to look out for those guys that are competitive. Again, we detailed that on Tuesday, a little bit about what that entails, but a brief recap is that it's not actually going to be like the League play you remember from Black Ops 2, where it's seasons of however long, say 3 months or so before that resets, but instead it's going to be ranked and unranked ladders, where the unranked will be there as sort of practice or scrims that you can take advantage of at any point in time, but the ranked League play events will be happening in conjunction, or rather close to, other CWL events, so that players can take part in the community of competitive COD in the same sort of mentality that a professional player would. So it's an interesting little adaptation of League play and what we've seen in the past, but it's gonna be something that sets the stage for League play coming up as well with this 1.11 update on Tuesday. Switching gears a little bit and going over to Blackout, we're gonna see as of this Tuesday update, the improved looting interface coming to consoles finally. We talked about that a little bit on Tuesday as well, in which we detailed that the looting was honestly right now not the greatest. It is something that is rather frustrating, but along with this new user interface that Vonderhaar actually tweeted out and gave a little bit of a preview of, showcasing 2 rows of 5, the debate was still going to be 2 rows or 3 rows of 5 for the final product, which we don't know of just yet. They ended up saying in this update, it'll allow players to scroll through a multi-row grid, loot the items they're looking for, and get back into the action as quickly as possible. Now, that doesn't definitively give us an answer of 2 or 3 rows of 5, but it is something something that does tell us, of course, it is coming on Tuesday. So whether or not it's 2 rows of 5 or 3 rows of 5, I'm still greatly anticipating this because anything I think is better than the console looting right now. Additionally, it's also said we should keep our eye out for 2 new limited time modes coming to Blackout, one starting next week. I can't imagine they drop both of them the same week, but that being something that we'll be getting 2 brand new ones, which is absolutely great for those players that are interested in limited time modes. The only one we've seen since the launch of Black Ops 4 has been Close Quarters Frenzy in the middle of December, so about a month ago at this point. But the curious part is this is now going to bring us up to that total of 3 that we saw in the beta. The beta for Blackout was a week long. We saw 3 limited time modes during that time, but since October and the launch of Black Ops 4 to now, we've only seen 1. So kind of curious as to why they're so spread out and why we haven't seen more of them, but regardless, 2 are going to be up on deck here in the upcoming weeks, presumably 1 starting on Tuesday, maybe another one taking its place the following Tuesday, but that's something to be on the lookout for as well. Now, the big main part of this update was to primarily detail some of the zombies content coming on Tuesday, because as you guys may or may not know, it's January 15th, and again, in the calendar dates, for depending on where you live, that translates to 115, which is of course a big number in zombies, and so they're doing a little bit of a zombie celebration here with us, launching some new stuff, doing some double XP events, and all things considered. So, starting on January 15th, as of the update going live, zombies will firstly have double XP, double weapon XP, and double Nebulium Plasma going until the 18th on all platforms. Now, along with the debut of that, we also end up seeing that there are going to be the introduction of the brand new gauntlets and also 3 new epic elixirs on PlayStation 4, as well as elixir balancing updates, it seems like, for all. But regardless, the elixirs will be coming for PlayStation 4 first, and then later to Xbox One and PC a week after. Additionally, new concoctions in the laboratory are coming over the next couple of weeks, so they said to keep your eye out for more information on that. We might end up seeing some more things debuted to us on Tuesday to look out for, because they also do say that this is just the beginning, and that on Tuesday they'll have news detailing several features and new content coming to zombies over the next few months, including a preview of what's already in the works for our 1.11 update for late January. So that could be a number of different things. One big thing that I personally think it might come down to is potentially a remake of some sorts. The idea of a Nuketown being a remake is something that's been tossed around for quite some time now, especially with that QA tester that a couple of months back got fired and then leaked a bunch of Easter egg steps. That was included in his little tirade that he went over on Reddit and posted all about. But that's something that might be happening later on, and well, the rest is really up for anybody's interpretation. But the other big thing that came out of this, again, outside of just the announcement of all these things like the elixirs, the double XP, the concoctions, are the new gauntlets, and they actually detailed a lot of how these will work. Now, I found out on Tuesday that the first one would be in relation to Voyage of Despair. We finally have now the sort of subheading here for it. It's called Unsinkable, in which it's going to be its own sort of time trial. So players can end up receiving bronze, silver, or gold medals and special tier-based rewards upon completing rounds 10, 20, and 30, as well as a unique reward and bragging rights for completing round 30 without failing a round. So probably a calling card or something like that comes along with that perhaps, but players also can earn bonus Nebulium Plasma rewards and also other things when reaching new milestones for the first time. But it's really cool because these are their own competitive ladder, each individual thing. So it seems like we might have more in the future for Voyage of Despair, the way this is later on detailed. This is the first one being called Unsinkable, but that doesn't mean that we won't ever revisit with other competitive rule sets a different challenge of 30 rounds in Voyage of Despair. So this is going to be something that your goal is to, of course, survive from round to round, but there's challenges associated with each of them. And there's going to be ranging from different weapon restrictions, time limitations, area defense challenges, dangerous enemy modifiers, and pretty much everything you can think of. So the thing is, to be able to pass this, you have to do everything it tells you to in that round, and if you fail, you end up earning a strike. So 3 strikes and you're out, that's game over. Very similar again to what I again compared it to before, the Advanced Warfare Exo Zombies challenge rounds. So your goal, of course, is to just simply survive, do what you're told, and try and be the best at it. They said that in the interest of being endlessly replayable in a competitive setting, the rules for each of these 30 rounds are permanently set and all gauntlet matches are timed. So you can either go for it at sort of a speedrun style, or if you guys want to try something else out in the future, it'll have different rule sets for each individual gauntlet. And again, that comes back to the idea that I can't see these being set for every single gauntlet moving forward, where it's just one of the same thing on every single map. To me, it makes me think like there's going to be subcategories. So like again, we see that this first one is Voyage of Despair with the Unsinkable challenge for that gauntlet, and then maybe we end up having one that is in theory named Man Overboard, something like that, where it's still the same map but a whole different rule set. And so therefore you can have multiple different rule sets for challenges and gauntlets for each of the maps, and you have, again, even more endless replayability and challenges at hand. That said, I think they sound pretty cool. I definitely am interested in checking it out. I know that personally this year in Black Ops 4, I haven't really had as much time and hands-on with zombies as I would have preferred. It's just the way the cookie has crumbled and the way that time has broken down and allowed me to not really have as much on hand, but I'm certainly excited to jump in and try these out for myself come Tuesday. That said, that's where we're gonna wrap it up here with this one. Again, this update was kind of out of nowhere from Treyarch. We haven't seen an update on a Friday as of recently, and it's something that they gave us a little bit more information on what's coming up and kind of a look forward to the next couple of days. So certainly gonna be able to get me through the week and get me hyped to come out on Tuesday ready to go and play some Black Ops 4, but that's where we're gonna wrap it up. So hopefully you enjoyed the video. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. What do you think of this? Are you guys excited for the improved looting in Blackout? Are you excited for the new maps in the full rotation in multiplayer? Are you excited for gauntlets or any of the other things going on in zombies? Whatever it may be, feel free to let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. But hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure you drop a like down below, and of course if you are new to the channel, make sure you guys subscribe so you don't miss a single thing regarding all things Black Ops 4, multiplayer, Blackout, zombies. We got you covered. The best of updates, news, information, tips, tricks, best class setups, all that good stuff. We got you covered. So if any of that interests you, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss a single thing. You guys also follow me over on Twitter and Instagram. There's the best places to get connected outside of YouTube. Practically live on both those. So if you guys want to strike up a conversation, ask me a question, whatever that may be, that link is down there in the description below. But all that said and out of the way, thank you guys all so much for watching. My name is Espresso. I'll see you guys later. Take care and peace.